Hey guys, welcome back to the Community Cares Podcast. I'm Dave. I'm the executive director here at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet. And
I'm Chaplain Chaz. I have the honor of being on the board of directors for Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet. And today we have someone really special who is near and dear to my heart and the cause that she really leads here in Northern Nevada. So I'll let her go ahead and introduce herself.
Thanks, Chaz. That's so nice. My name is Monica Miles. I'm the Community Development Manager for Nevada Donor Network, and I've been with them for 9 years. So thank you for having me on today.
Wow, that's a long time.
I can't believe it, but it's been great.
Almost a decade.
I know.
That's awesome.
almost a decade.
Yeah.
How long have you been at Good Shepherd's?
18 months, dude.
You got a long ways to go.
You knew the answer before you even asked.
I know.
And it's been a ride.
Yeah.
You've been around though for a lot of it. A lot of it you've been around.
I was just looking. I think I've been on the board for a year next month.
Oh,
and
really?
then I had just met you probably a month or two prior.
Yeah. I started getting to know you, and so we were doing like promos for Circle of Life Community Hospice, like events and stuff we were doing together. And I'm like, man, I really like this guy. So the whole podcast actually started. The idea really sprung from me and Chaz just talking, because we're like, wow, more nonprofits should work together. It would be a better thing for the community if we really work together. Christopher Dare was on our podcast a few months ago now, and he was talking with us, and he said there's studies that have been done on the Reno Sparks community, and we could actually solve a lot of our issues if nonprofits and churches and everyone else just decided to work together rather than be in their own little camps.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge thing that we as nonprofits really should do more of. And so Chaz and I were talking. We had this brilliant idea. Why don't we do like a show? Why don't we talk about it? Why don't we have discussions with other nonprofits? So every week we've had a different nonprofit on, or community resource, or just people making a difference in the community, and just have those discussions with them, because that's really where it starts, is those discussions, I think.
I love that.
And
Okay.
just learning about resources. There's so
Yeah.
much that we don't know. I'm excited to hear you talk about some of your resources that are pretty new. And we're stronger united. And especially with all the different, the climate we have in our country right now, it's important that we come together.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, my wife is watching, and she said my dogs are listening.
I
Thanks.
thought
Thanks,
you only
hon.
had one dog.
I have two. I have
Scrappy, right?
Scraps. And
Scraps.
do you know what he's named after?
Because you feed him scraps.
No. So the Tim Burton movie, not Nightmare for Christmas. What's the next one? Oh goodness, babe, if you're listening, please let me know. It's Corpse Bride. That's it. Corpse Bride. The little dog, little bone dog. It's a wiener dog, and his name is Scraps.
Nika, Lily really wants to keep scraps. But I
don't-
know you said absolutely not.
I missed Lily. She's not here tonight.
I know.
Oh man.
Please don't give that information out about my daughter over
I
there.
apologize. That should not be something I give out in the air. But we're really excited for all the things that are happening in the community. On this show, Community Cares Podcast, we always talk about 3 community events. So the idea is definitely that conversational piece, but also a community bringing together piece, right? And then also to share with the nonprofit what we're doing at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, and talking about how we make a difference in the community, and share with people what's going on, because we do a lot in the community. It's not just giving someone clothes, because Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet is a nonprofit that just gives clothes away for free to those in need. That's it. And it looks like a store setting, and
It's very
people
busy, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I was impressed.
Yeah, well, our numbers have definitely risen quite a bit. We're helping more and more people. On average, our old average was 700, but I should probably update that average at this point, because it's rising right now.
Good for you.
I think it was two weeks ago now was our busiest day. We had 118 clients in a 4-hour window.
Wow.
So
And normally it's about $70,000 worth of clothes that we give away for free. So for our viewers, that would be like buying $70,000 at Savers every month and giving it away for free. It's a lot of clothes.
yes, honey, I did see that it was Corpse Bride. Thank you for listening to the podcast live.
She's so helpful.
She's so helpful.
She is.
Yeah, she's great. She's been on this podcast because
You're welcome back.
she helps. She's never welcome back.
Yes, she is.
No,
'cause
you guys were mean to me.
For once, I wasn't the one being picked on.
Oh man. Well, it's definitely something that brings the community together, and that's the whole idea behind this: is how can we as a community work together more and more and more, right? Mm-hmm. So let's start with community events that are happening upcoming this month.
Oh, sorry. So Wednesday, December 13th from 2 to 4:30, many free services and prizes will be available.
And we're doing I did terrible.
I was like,
that was
wait a minute,
my
what is
fault.
the
I made
event?
sorry, that was my fault. So the community resource happening is this Wednesday on the 13th from 2 to 4:30. Our friends over at the Family Resource Center at O'Brien Middle School are doing a free community baby shower. So they came today and we donated a bunch of baby clothes to them, and they're going to be giving away baby clothes for free and bottles and all sorts of different baby shower type things to the community up in the North Valleys. So they're a partner of ours. We helped them with their original resource center. Jesse was on our podcast, who's the head over there a few weeks ago.
Who's amazing. Shout out to Jesse.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And so it's going to be a great time. And if you're in the North Valleys or not in the North Valleys and you just need resources, diapers, whatever else, definitely go out there during this event, during this time from 2 to 4:30 at O'Brien Middle School up in the North Valleys.
Is CHA doing the vaccines and flu shots?
They absolutely are.
Awesome.
Absolutely. We had Oscar Delgado on a few weeks ago.
Yeah, amazing what they're doing for the community. Had no idea.
Oh, I know. They give away a lot of vaccines for sure. So.
They do. So our next event, December 14th, 2023, is the Grinch Musical. That's put on by Circle of Life Community Hospice, partners with Washoe County Senior Center and the Reno Washoe County Senior Center. And we already had 150 tickets, free tickets sold out. So we can hold about 300 people. So if you weren't able to get a ticket, still come out. It's just a lot of fun. They play, the one guy plays the cello and sings, and it's a really good time.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, there will be some hot apple cider and cookies, but be forewarned that the seniors that eat lunch there, they take them all, and you have to fight them for it. So if you want those, seriously, get there early.
I know when you talk about the senior fairs and stuff and
Yes, Senior Fest with Connie
There's
McMullen, who owns Senior Spectrum. She was worried. I'm like, why are you worried?
Man.
She's like, I couldn't book security. And I'm like, okay, it's a senior fair. And she finally got it last minute. And sure enough, there were some serious fights. People had to get escorted out, and they were fighting over the free swag on the tables.
Okay, I believe that because we have done senior events and that they love swag a lot.
They
so
do.
funny.
They could come out for it. They love it. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Oh man. So yeah, definitely. That sounds fun. So you say tickets for this Grinch play? Put it on the where is it? The Washoe County Senior Center. So it'll be at the Washoe County Senior Center.
Yeah. So if you go to the Washoe County Complex off of, I think it's 9th Street, there's
Yep.
the Senior Center to the right, behind the Livestock Center.
Do you have to be a senior to be there?
No, anybody. It's open to the entire community.
Very cool. And tickets, it's not paid though, is it?
No, it's free, and we sold out, but you can still come. So just show up.
Great, awesome. That's super. That'll be a fun event.
It
And
will.
It's a free thing for the community.
And then later that day, I did want to give a shout out at the Sparks Marina. We have a lot going on with Israel, and regardless of your kind of beliefs, it's important to come together and honor all people's walks of faith. And so we're going to do a menorah lighting at the Sparks Marina. We have some dignitaries coming out. I'm going to say a few words, and the rabbi that's putting it on is doing just a fantastic job. And the Reno one actually turned out really good, I saw. So that'll be this Thursday at 4:30 p.m. at the Sparks Marina.
What area of the Sparks Marina? The podium area? Or?
So I think I think it's right in the middle where the gazebo is, where you walk out and there's the gazebo. I think it's going to be in front of that.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that'll be fun. Yeah, Nika will probably want to go if she's listening. And she never listens to podcasts. I'm surprised she's commenting. She always says, I don't listen to your podcast. I'm like, thanks, babe. You're so encouraging. And then she's on the podcast, and then now she wants to comment. So thank you for support. And thank you everyone for listening. Just to let you guys know, if you are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else, the Community Cares podcast is live on Facebook. Normally on Mondays at 4:45.
5:45.
5:40. Thank you. 5:45. But today we moved it up to 5 o'clock because of scheduling issues. And so we thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate that a lot. But you can type in Community Cares and we come up actually on most podcast platforms. So please check it out and let us know what you think. Comment. Let us know if you think, hey, Dave, this segment's going too long or whatever else. Let us know. We'd be happy to get any feedback. And if you would like to be on. But we are booking up pretty quick. I think January is already booked at this point. I hear there might be a Santa Claus coming on at some point.
No way, Santa's coming!
You don't get any presents. I heard that you get coal in your stocking.
I love Santa Claus.
You get coal.
And moving on to our last event. How do you feel about Christmas? Do you go all out?
I love Christmas. I just don't love all the runaround for all the gifts. I just would rather just like enjoy family and time at home and be cozy and lights, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
So
I hear you there.
yeah.
So you don't feel appreciated with gifts, you feel appreciated with quality time. That's a good thing to recognize. That's a good thing to recognize.
So true, though.
My wife, Nika, she feels appreciated by gifts,
Yes.
which is very expensive.
We all have different love languages, right?
That's right. And so, but
Are
it's
you
important
trying to get in
recognize.
trouble again?
Always. I'm
I
always
didn't
getting in
even have
trouble.
to get you in trouble this time. Wow.
Hey, where's Tatooine National Park, Chaz? I'm not wearing the sweatshirt this
That's
week.
from Star Wars. That's not really a state park. So we were on live. He was trying to get me like to look like I was lying. He's like, "Have you ever been to Tatooine Park?" I was like, "No, that's in Star Wars. That's not a real state park."
I wasn't trying to get you alive. Jeez Louise. So yeah, we there's a lot of things going on in the community. The last event is more of like a continual event happening in Reno Sparks. And that is the Hidden Valley Light Shows. So it's a bunch of houses that they do contests and all sorts of things. But those displays are nuts. So if you Google Hidden Valley and Christmas lights, it'll come up, I'm sure. And you can find it on Google Maps or Apple Maps or wherever, and drive out to Hidden Valley and just drive around the neighborhood. And have both of you done that before?
I have. I remember this as a little girl, actually.
Yeah.
My family used to take us out there, and it was really cool.
It's been going on for a long time.
A very long time,
Yeah,
clearly,
well,
if I went.
Well, no, I went as a kid too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
it's been
stop.
going on a long time.
Monica. You're not that old. Lily was counting my gray hairs in my beard the other night. I'm like, "Stop it, please." She got to like 40. I was like, "That's it. We're done."
This is not a fun game.
No, it's not fun for me.
Both of my parents aren't gray, and they don't do any dye or anything. So
I think it's
have
actually,
good
it looks
genes.
really good if you just let it go. Like,
I agree.
be the silver fox.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
No, but I did
Oh my
take
goodness.
Lily there last year, and I guess they have a shuttle that you can actually go on. So that
Really?
you can actually just focus on.
Whoa.
They have like hot chocolate.
Is it
and-
done by their association, or is it done
I'm
by?
not sure. I'll have to Google it, but
private party?
I've seen it before. Yeah, I think it's by the
Fun.
limousine company, and you buy a ticket, and they have like 40 people on the bus,
Whoa.
and then you don't have to worry about driving because as a dad, I'm always driving and trying to look, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so that'd be fun.
But see, I like being the DJ though. I like making sure the music's playing
Oh.
right. So while I'm driving, I'm looking at my phone and drinking hot cocoa.
We
Safety
don't,
first.
Yeah, we don't recommend
people.
that. Are you a tissue or organ donor?
Well, I mean, it kind of goes into our next.
Are you though?
We're not going to talk about that,
Oh,
Jazz.
it's okay. I am. I'm a proud organ and tissue donor.
Good. Awesome.
And it's everybody's choice. We always respect that. But
Absolutely.
I would recommend you consider or just look into it to be educated because it
Yeah.
definitely saves lives. So
It does. And it's a very good thing for sure. Yeah, we're definitely, there's definitely a lot of fun things happening right now. Things for you to check out in the community. If you are unsure, we look up a lot of these events on visitrenotahoe.com. I think it's what the website is, and or you can just Google events in the community. So there's a lot going on, and I'd encourage you, and we encourage our listeners every week. Go out in the community, be a part of what's going on, because it's so easy, especially when it's cold like this, to just sit around and just be at home. It's important to have family time.
Yeah.
I always say that.
And alone time. To
And
be away
alone
from
time.
people sometimes.
Yep,
It's a balance of both. I
there are
guess.
certain people. I'm sorry. Anyways, it's really important for us to be in the community and be around people and have these discussions. And I've said this a couple times on the podcast as well, that I sometimes will sit at a coffee shop intentionally instead of being alone at the office here, just because you get to be around people. You get to be around the energy of more than just me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
Because when we do that, we definitely get in our heads, and it creates different issues for us a lot of times. So just to be around people, and if you're going to an event, then you have a reason to go be around people, rather than if you feel weird about it for some reason. And just say hi to someone. It's okay to say hi to a stranger. I mean, stranger danger. If you're uncomfortable, don't. But I've met a lot of friends that way. Just, hey, how are you doing?
This podcast has gone to so many
Oh, my
different
goodness.
uncomfortable places.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. What are you
Nothing.
looking at? What are you
Nothing.
looking at? Oh man.
Okay.
Oh man. So without further ado, talking about driving in ways you shouldn't drive.
Yeah.
You should be a donor, right?
If you feel comfortable. And I think this could be a really serious conversation, but I just want to add before Monica goes that it really does bring light into so many dark situations. I can tell you as someone who works with people in grief, I've seen pain turn into purpose where there may have not been that. And it truly has given people a purpose to help save other lives and just help others have hope. So I think it's a beautiful cause, and I really am honored to have you here, Monica. And so we'd love to hear about kind of what you do and some of those resources.
Thank you, Chaz. That was a great introduction, because that really is why we do what we do. So just for the listeners and viewers, Nevada Donor Network, we facilitate organ, eye, and tissue donation for transplant. And right now in the U.S., there are just over 103,000 people who need a life-saving organ transplant. And every 9 minutes, another person will be added to that list. And so that's really the work that we're trying to do. That doesn't even encapsulate the millions of people every year that get tissue transplants. Nearly 100,000 people a year will receive corneal transplants and will be able to see again. And it's all because of the generosity of people who registered and indicated that that was their wish to help others, or families who are given that choice at a very difficult time after they've just lost a loved one, and they make that incredibly generous and heroic decision. And in that, so our work really does kind of walk this line of tragedy every day, and then also the hope that that gives to others, and then the comfort that it gives back to the families. And I think that's what you've really been able to see and connect with, and that's really a lot of why I get a lot of personal fulfillment from our work as well. So that's what we do.
That's awesome. So talking to someone who is more nervous about it, I don't know anyone that would be nervous about it. But if someone was, what are some of the things you would tell them about, like, the meaning, or maybe even a story of how it affected someone? You don't have to use names or anything, obviously, but a story of how it's affected that family, and then also the receiving end as well.
Yeah. Well, we have countless stories of that. But a lot of what we get to see in our community development department is the impact on the families, like you're talking about, of our donor heroes. And that's what we call every single one of them as a hero. And there really is an immense amount of healing and comfort that those family members get from knowing that their loved one lives on, that they saved someone, that someone can see now, that someone is healed, that they can, walk along the beach, or quite literally that their life has been saved. And so we also have volunteers that work with us who are transplant recipients. And they are the most grateful humans I've ever seen in my whole life.
Shout out to Transplant Tom, who's amazing.
Yes, yes, he's incredible. And everything that he does is in honor of his donor and donors, actually, in his case. And he tells the world that. So it's fine to be nervous. And I think a lot of people that have some reservations about registering or donation in general, they just don't understand the process. And that's exactly why we're here, is to answer questions. And what we really want people to know is that donation, we treat our donors with the utmost level of respect and dignity at all times. And then a big part of our job is being there for the donor families afterwards.
And I would say there's a lot of myths out there too. So for example, someone has cancer or a certain diagnosis and is on hospice, because I work in hospice. There are many individuals who still are donors, even with those diagnoses. So it's different. Each case is different. Correct?
Yes. So that's one of the biggest myths that we hear is people say, well, I'm too old, I'm too sick, I can't possibly help others. And I understand that comes from a good place, right? Like you want whoever receives a transplant to be healthy, and but that is what our job is to evaluate every donor on a case-by-case basis. Medical professionals make that call. And so what we encourage people to do is just make that choice to register if that feels right in their heart, because there are constant medical advancements, constant changes in our medical criteria. And so, for instance, someone in my family asked, she's beat cancer a couple times and thought that maybe she should take herself off the donor registry because of that. And as you already alluded to, cancer is not necessarily a rule out, especially if someone has received treatment, especially if they've been in remission for a certain period of time, or even in a hospice situation. We have a lot of successful cornea donors. And I just think it's really incredible for someone who has suffered for quite some time in many of these cases with this horrible disease, but then they know that they could possibly give that gift to someone else, and that still is possible.
Yeah. We had it was the Hope dinner recently, and there was a lady who was actually at Columbine, and I forget her name, maybe
Casey Johnson.
And I loved what she shared. And a lot of people, were like, I have no good parts, maybe my liver's bad or my organs. But she got a shoulder bone, and that may have not saved her life, she said, physically, because she probably could have had it amputated. But she said it still saved her life because she's able to, be a mom to her children and do activities. And so it really, it's just so powerful. There's so many different things you can give. Tissue to burn victims. There's an officer from Vegas. What's that gentleman's name?
Yeah, Jason Schechterly. He was actually in Phoenix, but it's the best story. And he was a police officer. He was hit while on duty by someone having a medical emergency in their taxi cab. And his car burst into flames. He was thrown through the air, and basically the car landed right in front of a fire truck. And he had severe burns all over his body, but they were able to get him out of the car to the burn unit within like 8 minutes. Whoa. And everyone that saw him thought that he should never have survived that. But because of the generosity of tissue donors, he had hundreds of skin grafts, and then that allowed his skin to heal. And without those, to your point, it wasn't an organ donation, but it truly did save his life in that situation. There was no other way he could have lived through that accident. And so now he travels the country. He's spoken at our donor remembrance ceremonies a couple times, at our Hope dinner. He's incredible. It's so inspiring. And the thing that I love is just his gratitude to the donors.
Man, it's incredible. I think we can talk about it. You tell me if I'm off base, but we were at an event recently.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
If you'll tell that story, it was so powerful. And we talk about like what the impact is on the families. Looking at this individual's children and seeing a proud look of what their mom donated and did. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah. And Chaz got to join us at the event because it was, their hospice was also involved. But this is a woman who died very young after battling cancer. She was a registered donor. apparently near the end of her life, her family has shared that she just really wanted to make sure everything she had went to other people, to help animals, anything. And as a registered donor, she was hopeful that she could help others still, even though she was dealing with cancer and that would ultimately take her life. But she was able to be a cornea donor, and her family was incredibly supportive of that wish. Our community partners helped make that happen, helped us honor her wish. And because we loved her story so much, we decided as a group to honor her on the Rose Parade float. It's called the One Legacy Donate Life float. And that will be in the Rose Parade on January 1st. And one of our very local donor heroes, her florograph, which is her portrait recreated out of seeds and spices,
So cool.
that her family actually got to help finish at this event. It will be on the float and for the whole world to hear her story.
And
That's super cool.
you guys fly the family down there, or the families, and then
Mm-hmm.
also there's some of the recipients sit on the float, right?
Yeah, so there are transplant recipients that sit on the
Wow.
float. There's living
Powerful.
donors that walk alongside the float. And then there are usually about 44 donors that are honored from across the country. Their families all get to come in, they all get to meet each other. And it's a very, very powerful event for our families that get to go. And so we're just really overjoyed that we got to honor her and her family. They were the kindest, sweetest family, and I'm really glad that we got to share that with them. So,
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool, huh?
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. And it doesn't just stop there, because you guys are actually opening up some different resources to the community, correct?
Yes, yeah. So a big part of what we do, I think I mentioned it earlier, but is our aftercare services to our families. So by law, organ procurement organizations like ours, we have to provide at least 13 months of support to our donor families. But that's pretty bare bones what the requirement is. But we have an incredible aftercare team. It's a real priority at Nevada Donor Network to help our families through their grief. And really, honestly, anyone who's grieving, anyone who is suffering. And so it started with one of our donor fathers who had lost his son to suicide. His son was a heroic donor thanks to the generosity of his parents, who said yes at the darkest time in their life. And what happens with a lot of our donor families is they end up wanting to get involved, and they can volunteer for us. And this man, he said, I can't picture myself sitting at a health fair and talking about donation. Like, that's not really my jam.
I can't picture him doing that
No.
either.
But what he did want to do is start a men's grieving group. And so we connected him and our aftercare team with Emilio Parga of the Solace Tree. So talk about bringing nonprofits together, like we were talking about earlier. And we first started a men's group where donor fathers, brothers, sons could get together and really talk about their experience, their grief, and feel comfortable doing that.
Sure.
And then we decided that other people needed that resource, of course, and that it's free, it's virtual. We started an adult group,
Okay.
which is really a lot of women, but they oftentimes bring their significant others, and then we can kind of encourage them if they want to join the men's group. And they're virtual because we have donor families from across the country. And so then we decided, well, we need to open it to the public. It doesn't have to do with donation at all. Anyone in the community who wants to join this support group, if you're grieving, if you're going through something, if you want to talk to someone and be in a group of peers, these groups are open to you. We just started a suicide loss group that just got going because unfortunately that's the way a lot of our donors happen. And then our families, we really want to provide them with the correct support. And then lastly, we work with, we also have a children's and teens group, which is very cool, very important. And then we work with a lot of first responders in the community. And another one of our donor dads, as a retired firefighter, lost his son also to suicide. And the way that he wants to carry on his son's legacy is by supporting other first responder heroes in our community. And so that is a free first responder peer support group virtual
That's great.
that anyone can join. And we also have a family section where families of first responders can join. And they will just go into like a separate virtual room. So the first responders can talk about what they need to talk about. And then the families can talk about what they want to talk about with my colleague, Kimberly, who is actually the wife of a firefighter. So she knows what they're going through. And so just a lot of free, virtual, easy to access resources, confidential, open to the public.
So real quick, I just want to tell a story. So I got a call the other day, and it was from a local funeral home, and they had a family that was grieving really hard, and they were looking for grief support resources, and all the grief support groups I currently am a part of and facilitate for the community, they're in person. And so I gave Nevada Donor Network's information because they were from Reno, Nevada originally. And they were able to connect that to the family, and the family was extremely grateful.
Oh, good. I'm
And
so glad.
Thank you for doing it online,
Yeah.
and really making that available
Yeah,
to
thank
everybody.
you.
Yeah, it's really important.
And anyone who wants to access those, there's a lot of information on our website, which is nvdonor.org. And what you're going to look for is our aftercare section, and that's where you'll find all those resources.
Awesome. Very cool. And how, real quick, I want to ask, how can people get involved financially, become a donor, or any other way?
It's
you
really
can help you?
complicated. No, just kidding.
So the main thing that we always talk about with the community, the number one way you can support our mission is by registering as a donor.
Yeah.
And if you're not registered, then get educated. Anyone on our team would be more than happy to answer any question that you have about what we do, any myth that you've heard. So number one thing is get registered. The easiest way that most people know to do that is at the DMV. When you go to get your driver's license or renew your driver's license, you just check the box. You'll get a sweet little red heart on your driver's license that we love. But if you don't have a DMV appointment coming up and you would like to register, you don't have to wait. You can actually register in your iPhone in the health app, up in the profile. You'll see a little donate life symbol and you can register there, or you can go to registerme.org anytime. And you can register. You'll be on a national registry. And we really encourage people. That's the easiest way that you can contribute to our mission.
And you can change your wishes also. So people are worried they're locked in,
Yeah.
but you can actually log in and change what your wishes are. And it's so funny, the little red heart, you never know when that'll come in handy. I think it was the Washoe County Sheriff's Office did a campaign where they were doing trying to reduce speeding, and anybody they pulled over, if they had the heart, they gave them a warning.
Wow.
So you never know.
There's lots of fun programs like that where we honor people who
Yeah.
have made that decision. So
It's awesome.
And can anyone? What if people want to volunteer or
Yes.
financial help or anything like that?
absolutely. So also on our website, nbdonor.org,
Okay.
you can look at our volunteer tab, and we would love to have anyone volunteer. You don't have to be a recipient or a donor family. We have a lot of people that just love what we do and are a champion for our mission, and we would love to have you. And then we also have a foundation that people can make financial contributions to, and there is a little link to that on our website as well.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for sharing. I learned a bunch, and I really appreciate it. And I hope our listeners learned some stuff as well. So I really appreciate you making the time and being here with us.
Thank you. No, I appreciate the opportunity to be here and share our mission with the community. Anytime we can do that, I'm just really, really thankful. So thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. And for those of you listening, this is happening at the Community Cares Podcast is live here at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet. And Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet gives away $70,000 worth of clothing every single month. And that's over 700 people a month, which our numbers are definitely rising right now because a lot of people are cold. And if you want to donate coats, men's jeans, or anything else, you can always donate here on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 10 and 2. And if you want to donate financially, you can always donate. If you have year-end giving, please go to getclothes.org, hit the donate button, and we'd be happy that you're joining our cause. I mean, that's what really matters is us coming together and the community coming together. And without the community, we wouldn't be open right now. That's the reality.
100%.
We were really close to closing not that long ago, and we came together, put our brains together, and thought through some things, and like, well, you know what? This is a good cause. We just want people to know what's happening because we're just giving away clothes for free. It's a shopping experience. And then the community really brought together Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet and got us back to where we are now. So
Congratulations.
You did a great job as a leader, by the way. As a board member, I'll give you a shout out.
thank you, sir. Would you like those shoes? Shine, sir.
Stop it. Well, we love you guys. Thank you.
Hey, thank you guys so much.
Do you remember last show I did the heart and it literally?
Oh, it did it again. Why did it do that?
That's so cool.
I don't know. Is it OBS software?
You know about it.
I
Did you
actually
do it?
don't.
Really?
No.
That's amazing. Well, it's just special.
It-
Well, we love
it's-
you guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next Monday at 5:45 live.
Yeah, we'll see you guys live. We help 700 people a month, no matter what. We're asking you to come alongside and help one. We'll see you next week, guys.
Take care. Thank you.